is something a little different, there's a lot of canon, a lot of lore out there to choose from. So, um, another point that people made though is if you followed the cartoon Star Wars Rebels at all,
Not at all.
in season 3, Obi-Wan was brought back for an episode where he ended up fighting Darth Maul. So
That'd be cool.
in Star Wars The Clone Wars, it was revealed that Darth Maul, in fact, survived being cut in half by Obi-Wan in Episode 1, Phantom Menace.
How would you survive being cut in half?
I have no idea, but he gets, like, robotic legs and stuff, so... But he goes out
That's
for
kind of like
revenge.
in the movie Wild Wild West. The dude was cut in half, and he
There you go.
makes like a... Did you watch that one or no?
No, I didn't see
You
Wild
should.
West.
You should.
Um...
Will Smith is fantastic.
But the thing is, Darth Maul ends up having, I hear, a really great story arc in Clone Wars. In Rebels, he returns. He's given a nice story arc where he tries to influence the main protagonist, Ezra, to the dark side. But there's one episode where he ends up having his final battle with Obi-Wan. And
Right.
it's honestly amazing. I absolutely love that episode. I thought it was a very fitting story to have Obi-Wan in, and I just don't know if I want to see anything else with him. But like, that's the level that you have to be at. So I did include an article that shows like some of the behind-the-scenes making of that episode. So you may want to check that out because that's where the bar's set. So
Sounds like a plan.
yep.
You good or you keep? You still got one more?
All right. So last story here is kind of just gossip right now.
Not the last one. We still have our Netflix
Wow.
retro and fresh pick of the week.
Besides Netflix, fresh and retro. This is just the rumor mill going on. Ben Affleck may or may not be continuing on as Batman.
I thought he was confirmed.
Well, they've said that, but rumors were a while back that his, future was in jeopardy. They were saying Warner Bros. Was trying to get him out. They cited multiple reasons. One of them, which is a big concern as far as the longevity of his Batman career, is Ben Affleck's old. Like, he didn't, Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, he started out old too, but he did not start quite Ben Affleck old. So, and on top of that, Robert Downey Jr., he is getting older, but he's done his 3 movies already. Ben Affleck hasn't even done the first one, and more than likely they're going to want to try to do a trilogy of Batman movies. So, but at San Diego Comic-Con a few weeks ago, Affleck said, quote, "Let me be very clear. I am the luckiest guy in the world. Batman is the coolest part in the universe. I'm so thrilled to do it." That's what Sean Spicer said before he left as press secretary. So, like, nothing is for certain in this world. Affleck's brother, Casey Affleck.
especially if they're trying to cover it up.
Yeah. Casey Affleck, he was on a radio show recently, and he said, quote, "I thought he, Ben Affleck, was an okay Batman. No, he was great. He was great. He's a hero, so he had something to channel and work with there. But he's not going to do that movie, The Batman. I don't think. Sorry to say, is that breaking news? Because I was just kind of making that up. I don't know. Some people would say, maybe Casey Affleck was lying. Maybe he was misinformed. We don't know.
Or he was just trying to get publicity on himself.
Could be that too. But like I said, there's just a lot of rumors. The other thing, the Vanity Fair article that I linked to this, they brought up the point that Gal Gadot, she is DC's new star right now with the success of Wonder Woman.
Right.
So not all of the success is, on the shoulders of the Batman franchise.
Right.
Personally, I do love Ben Affleck as Batman. I hope to see him for a little while longer. At the same time, if we are going to phase him out, I think I would really like to see that Batman Beyond route. I don't want to see, Batman handing off the cape and cowl to, Robin, which has been done in the past.
I think that would have been cool for The Dark Knight.
For The Dark Knight, they sort of did do that in Dark Knight Rises.
Well, they did, but they didn't. I wanted them to come out with like a Robin movie
Yep.
of some form.
But they have, Jeff Johns, who's one of the big chiefs at DC Comics, and he works closely with Warner Bros. On the movies. He has said that they are interested in expanding the Batman franchise within the movie realm.
Right.
So they are planning on doing, what is it? Batgirl, which will be directed by Joss Whedon. They are interested in potentially doing Birds of Prey. And I think for me, Batman Beyond would be a cool route to go. Like, okay, we have an older, grisly Batman who can't really do the job. Maybe he's, wounded or something. And now we bring in the young guy. So I think that would be a nice twist that we haven't seen.
I think if they did that, I think they should do a Batman. I think they should follow exactly how the animated series did it. Kind of do like a Batman and a Super. Well, they got the Superman one. Do a better Superman one.
Yes.
do a standalone Batman Superman.
Yeah.
Do a animated series Justice League, like a live action version of the animated series. And then from there, from that, like that Batman solo one, they can spring off a Beyond, because that's kind of how that whole thing worked. Was if you go back and watch it, it was they had the Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, and Justice League the animated series, and those three tied in together. And then there was one point, I think, when Justice League tied in with Batman Beyond. They were doing like a past thing. They went into the past.
Yeah.
And they were with the Justice League, but they had Batman Beyond and an older version of a superhero called Static Shock. That they had going at a time, which was another really good series.
Yep.
Which was very short, but they kind of like they actually created a universe. But they had like it was the same guy that did the voice for the Batman the animated series, and kind of the same I want to say the same kind of animation, but they aged him quite a bit. And you didn't see him in the Batman, you saw him as Bruce Wayne all the time. And then that's when they brought in the guy from Boy Meets World to play the voice of Batman Beyond. And it really all played in together really nicely. And I think if you do that with movies, it would work out as well too. Say you do one or two Batman standalone movies, maybe a couple good Superman standalone movies.
Yes.
Those would segue into a Justice League movie, and you got to have the animated series. Just that's the one that everybody looks for.
Yeah.
You got to have the Martian Manhunter. You got to have, you just got to have that dynamic. So you get that, and I know if you use at least those characters, and try to get somewhat of the same actual characters, and you use that lineup, at least use that lineup, you'll get a bigger following. And then from there you can, do a couple movies, and then you can do a movie where, a Batman Beyond movie where it says, so many years from now. And you can use, a different actor playing the same character, or the same actor, just age him up a few. Like, okay, say they took, if they would have taken Ben Affleck first, and done his solo movies first, or the Batman v Superman first, and then his solo movies or whatnot, he would have made a really good older Batman for Batman Beyond. They could have aged him up a few, quite a bit, and made him, and you kind of tell that backstory in Batman Beyond of how he got hurt.
Yeah.
And I actually found out that it kind of played out to where Batman Beyond, the kid who, the kid who was supposed to be in Batman Beyond, or the new Batman, finds out later he's actually Bruce Wayne's son. Through some weird. Anyway, but it all tied in together, and I really like the fact that it did that. That everything tied in together, because it actually made it a universe.
Yeah.
It made it, you went through their lives. You saw all of Batman's, a lot of what he did. You saw what he did with the Justice League. You saw what he did on his own. You saw what Superman did on his own. You saw what he did with the Justice League. And then you saw, the point when Bruce Wayne hit rock bottom and realized he couldn't be Batman anymore, and the world needed a Batman. So I think that was a really good way to go about it, and I feel if you take those same concepts and about that same order and put that into a live action movies, you would have a really, really, really good time, and a really good universe developed enough that you could do you know, couple Wonder Woman movies. You could do a couple maybe better Green Lantern movies with a different actor. You know, from there, and then you could actually rival the Marvel universe.
Yep.
Because you'll have a solid foundation, you know, because you'll have two main members of the Justice League have standalone movies. Then you do the Justice League movie the way everybody knows and likes it. Because I know there's a lot of comic book fans out there, but there's a lot more fans of the cartoons.
Yeah.
So you'll grab them as well. So that's what I think.
We'll have to wait and see. So right now, like I said, I don't know what to make of this news because Ben Affleck, he was supposed to write and direct and star in his Batman solo movie, and now he is just starring in it. Matt Reeves has tossed the old script that they were working with, and he will be directing. So Matt Reeves, for those of you who don't know, he directed Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes, so the most recent two of the Apes franchise. So fingers crossed. I want to see him around for a little bit, especially after he received so much smack in the beginning. Batfleck, so no one wanted it. And then, you know, as bad as Batman v Superman was, one of the good things was the casting. Like, Ben Affleck turned out to be a pretty good Batman. So
part of the casting, because I do recall you saying that the person cast for Superman was not that great.
Henry Cavill, he does a good job, I think. So
okay,
I think they need to give him more to work with, though. So
is he kind of like the Pierce Brosnan of the? You know what I'm talking about?
I guess.
Pierce Brosnan was in James Bond, but he had horrible writing. He's a good actor. He just had horrible writing.
Oh yeah, and I think I'm not saying Cavill's the greatest actor out there. I think with a little direction,
right,
better direction other than Zack Snyder, that would help. But again, I think a lot of that's on the writing. So, but he's very charming. So I do like him as Superman. I'll root for him.
You know what I'll root for?
What?
Our Fresh and Retro Netflix pick of the week.
All right, let's do this.
So the movies we picked are both very, very, very dark movies. Yeah. Our fresh movie is Sweeney Todd, not the original, the version with Johnny Depp. And then our retro one is Sleepy Hollow, again with Johnny Depp. And they're both directed by Tim Burton.
Yep.
And they were both fantastic.
Some people might say they were fantastic.
This somebody says they were fantastic.
All right, I'll go with that.
I thought they were good. Okay, let's start off with Sweeney Todd.
Right.
So Sweeney Todd it's actually called Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. It has Johnny Depp who plays Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd is a barber. I'm trying to remember the whole synopsis.
Well, all right, I'll admit I did not watch it for this week, but I've seen it a few times. Essentially, what happens is he gets.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it away.
So Benjamin Barker, aka Sweeney Todd, that's who's Johnny Depp plays, is who sets up a barber shop in downtown London, which is the basis for a sinister partnership with his fellow tenant, Mrs. Lovett, and it's based on a Broadway musical. I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth. So what it is it starts off he's a barber, and he's got a really weird look. I'm not gonna lie, and he meets Miss Lovett, and he opens up a barber shop, and he's really good at it too. You know, he's not like just a crappy. He's a really good barber. He's really good at it. And him and Miss Lovett go into business together because she has meat pies that are horrible and don't sell. And I don't remember exactly how the partnership first started, but I know they ended up pretty much creating like a factory, and he would have people come up, and there was a trend. I don't remember what the trend was, but he would have certain people that would come to get their hair cut and their beards cut. He would slit their throats, and he had a button that he would press, and his chair would pretty much turn into like a slide, and a trap door would open, and it would slide down.
Yep.
And then here's where it gets gross. They turn the